We are here, the final class, man. If you made it this far, congratulations. I hope you learned a lot during this process, but we got a few final touches before we are finito. Creating the cover art is just step one. You gotta know how to present your work professionally so you can get the type of clients and the type of jobs that you want. This includes jobs, freelance gigs, brand deals, sponsorships, all this type of things. Presenting your work effectively is crucial for making a strong impression on potential clients and collaborators, like I just mentioned. So let's explore some best practices, okay? First things first is going to be prepare thoroughly. You want to know your design in and out and be ready to explain the different types of choices that you made for whatever you end up creating. This can go beyond cover art. This is design, any type of project that you create. You have to know your project inside and out, why you selected that font, why you use these colors when you're presenting your project to the client. Most of the times when you're in like a professional setting, you're gonna have to present your work and explain, especially if you're working with labels. Also, if you're working in agencies, you always have to explain why you did certain things and what is the story that you're trying to tell. But other than that, when you're just sending it back to a client or sending it back to an artist, they primarily really don't care. This is just if you're gonna try to move on to that next upper echelon of clientele and brand work. Next, like I already mentioned, is tell a story through your work. Narrate the journey of your design process from the concept to the final product. So you got to be able to walk them through it. Ask them to imagine themselves as you and why you chose these colors. Once again, why you chose these fonts, why you use these images instead of these images. You know what I'm saying? Next thing is going to be clear and be concise, okay? You want to be able to communicate your ideas clearly and avoid unnecessary terms and jargon. They don't want to hear about curves. They don't want to hear about the hue and the saturations and stuff like that. They just want to know why you chose this, why you chose that, how is that going to help them, how does that get them more money, more attention, a bigger audience, period. Last thing for presenting your work would be to practice. So I want you to rehearse your presentations, build your confidence up to ensure a smooth delivery. If you're not used to talking to people and you say like all the time, or you don't have a real extensive vocabulary or anything like that, I would just tell you to practice talking to yourself in the mirror, practice talking to a camera, practice talking to your phone, practice talking to your girl, your boyfriend, whatever. Just practice. Your mother, your sister, your cousin, just practice talking. You can get more confidence in whatever you're trying to deliver, so they know this person really knows what they're talking about, or this person really doesn't know. They just kind of winged it. You want to know whatever you're presenting, whenever you're typing up that email, whenever you're creating that pitch, you want to know whatever you're trying to create inside and out, so you're able to deliver it with confidence and reassurance to the client. Because if you're not confident about what you made, they definitely not going to have confidence in you. And then if you don't love what you made, then they're going to be like, maybe we should try somebody else, something like that. Next is building a portfolio and showcasing your work online. Now, as I was going through this and I've been scouring the internet, there is a whole new way of showcasing your work. I'm gonna go over a few of these shortly, but your portfolio is your calling card in the creative industry. It should showcase your best work and highlight your unique style. We are gonna go through a few, but we're gonna get there in 1 second. Bear with me, guys. I just want to provide some tips for building an effective portfolio, and then I'll discuss the reasons to have a portfolio and the reasons and the different types of portfolios that you can use. First things first, here are some tips for building an effective portfolio. The first thing is going to be to curate your best work, okay? Select projects that showcase your skills and your versatility. Don't just throw everything that you ever made up there. It got to be the ones that broke 100 likes, the ones that had the most comments, the one that got the people talking the most. Those are the pieces that you want to kind of show. I want you to organize these pieces thoughtfully and arrange your work in a logical order, starting with your strongest piece. As soon as they get on your profile, they're blown away, and then everything else is kind of scattered. So like you may have one great piece, like your staple piece. Then you have a slight piece, another great piece, a slight piece, another great piece, slight piece, great piece. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle it throughout. Once again, a story throughout your portfolio so they can follow along. Just don't do it based on chronological order, the least, the thing, whatever it is the best should be up front. Include some context in your portfolios, and this means to provide some brief descriptions, what you did, what was your contribution to the project. And sometimes you may need to explain the brief, like what were you given to create what you created? Talk about your process, talk about the outcome and how you like the project so much. You could really use ChatGPT. If you go back to the AI course, the ChatGPT can help you a lot. Maybe you're not the best with words, but maybe you just wrote a few things and then ChatGPT can go ahead and articulate it a little bit better for you and just throw those up with your explanations on the cover art. It's not just the art or just the art by itself. Like, it has some explanations. Maybe when you even do it, you're breaking down each piece, like this was the before, this was the after, this is why I added this, this is why I added that. Brands and clients, like agencies, they love that type of stuff. I don't know why. They like to know the reasons behind every single. They're not just the type of people that's just like, oh, that looks cool, let's use that. No, they want to know the whys, the whens, the hows. Like, how's it? I'm telling you, it's crazy. But yeah, just make sure you add some context to each project that you upload. I would upload, once again, I would update this portfolio regularly. Keep your portfolio up to date with your latest and best works at all time. Sometimes it's hard. You might have a lot going on, but you do have to take like a weekend or a couple of days out the week to go ahead and update that portfolio and make a case study for whatever projects that you feel like, oh, the best of this month, or the best of last month, or the best of the year. Maybe you do it every 4 months. Maybe you do it every 6 months. Maybe you do it every year. You just update it. But just make sure you're updating your portfolio regularly, because I know sometimes even myself, I can get caught up in life and then just forget. But you don't want to wait till it's an opportunity when you're looking for an opportunity to go ahead and update your portfolio, because that will delay your time and cause a little bit more stress. So lastly is, this should be obvious, is to use high quality images and just ensure all your visuals that you're uploading are high resolution. It's nothing worse than clicking on somebody's portfolio and clicking on a piece and then it's like pixelated, because now that shows that you really don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to export your formats to a resolution that is not going to be pixelated. So then when I go ahead and use this piece, I can't really print it or I can't use it for anything else because it's pixelated. You know what I'm saying? We can't really go back now. Just make sure whatever you're uploading, your visuals are the highest quality visuals. And by presenting and curating your work thoughtfully, you can make a strong impression on potential collaborators and clients. I do want to take you through a few types of different portfolios so then you guys can even understand what I'm talking about. And that's why I kind of brought this up right now. When you're presenting your work and you building an online portfolio, there's multiple ways to do it. And I've been seeing this change as of recently, and I'm even about to make the switch over to save some money. But this is how you could do it. You can have a portfolio website. Now, a website, you can do multiple things on a website. You can have a shop and about. You can showcase your services. You can present all your best work. If you click on one, I curate my work just like this, and I show each piece and stuff like that. You see, I don't really talk too much in mine. Maybe you should. It's just I'm not actively always seeking my stuff out, so I don't really talk too much in my portfolio. It's pretty much straightforward, and then I usually get interviewed and then I can elaborate and stuff like that on certain pieces that stand out. For me, I am currently using the website format, but as of recently, there's really no need for websites. If you've been online and you've seen like Zach Fox, his website, for instance, it's just a spreadsheet. Like, let me show you guys. Zach Fox website is literally a Google spreadsheet, bruh. Like, literally, this is real Google spreadsheet in a view only format. But it shows you, oh, it's already sold out. Damn, I would have went. I need to start keeping up to that because Zach Fox is tough. But anyways, this is besides the point. It's just a spreadsheet, literally. He's not showcasing any actual works, so it's hard to use this as a portfolio type site for us. But this is the type of stuff our people are doing because literally Google Spreadsheets is free, so you don't have to spend any money. Right now, my current portfolio is hosted on Squarespace, and Squarespace is literally $42 a month times 12 months. I'll let y'all do the math on that, but it's becoming just a little bit more expensive, and I really don't have a lot of clients or brands going strictly to my portfolio. Usually I'm pitching or showing my portfolio to people. If you already had a conversation with me or you already seen like my resume or interview like that, I need maybe a simpler website. This one is really, really cool. I really like this website, and that's why I did it like this. But showing you guys that there's different ways now and free ways to do it. You can use myportfolio.com, and myportfolio.com it's automatically included with your Adobe subscription. That's one of the things I'm thinking about switching over to most recently as well, is this thing called Behance. Behance is another type of portfolio website where you can get hired, put your working experience in, put all your links. Everything you need for a portfolio is on here. This is Cold Sight's portfolio on Behance. I just want to show you guys that. This is his cover art collage graphics for his website. He put all his best works. He feels like this is his best piece. He put his best piece first, maybe some slight pieces, but then it's kind of spread around to make you kind of look all over, but you want to keep scrolling to kind of see what's going on. This where you can see that somebody is available for hire. In this case, it would be Cold Sight. Just move that down. You can go to your services, show your services, add your services in here. You can add your Instagram in here. It'll show you how many profile project views that you're getting, appreciations, that means your likes, and your followers, how many followers you have. And then you can also, like I said, on the web, link it out to your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, what have you. This is kind of what I'm thinking about switching over to, just because it's free and there's really no point. If somebody wants to see your work, they're going to want to see your work in whatever way that you format it. But it depends on why you're using the site. Before, my Squarespace hosted my digital products as well as my portfolio, but now they're separate websites. So I'm just trying to cut costs and be more efficient for my overhead by removing Squarespace from my bill list, adding a free service. This is another, guys, like, it's all about how you present your work, man. Making the work is one thing, but how you present it and how it comes across to somebody makes it 10 times better, and it can showcase other skills. So if you are a motion graphic artist or something like that, like, oh, did you do that? These things will come up. But yeah, this is dope. I like how this came up. It says, take a look, cover artwork series. He has the year on here. He does a little talking, but not too much. Some personal projects and commission music cover arts related to rap, trap. And I click on the pictures to see the full details. He tells you exactly what to do, so that's a great call to action. And he also put follow me on Instagram. In case you see this, you could just follow him on Instagram instead of clicking on the page and doing all this stuff. And then this page, he has, like I said, his best works and then some slight works in between. And then with this, it's kind of like a social media type site too, because you can appreciate things, you can save things, and you can share things. You can know what tools somebody used to create this, so you're not just out here guessing. They'll give you like a strong viewpoint. Even how he presents it in a few different ways is pretty dope, like in a magazine type of format. And if we go to his main page, you'll see he's been featured in a few different categories on the site. And this is all his best works. He has a few more links, and he has a way more project views, appreciations, and followers. But as you get popping, I feel like it's kind of better than a portfolio because it's easier for people to find you and hire you if you're in the same pool of people. If you're where all the audience and attention is, it's easier to find you rather than being off on the wind by your own self. I wouldn't recommend this for somebody who's like crazy out of here. If you already got like 1 million followers or you've already working on big client work and big company work, I wouldn't put my stuff on here because it wouldn't make any sense because I'm already getting the type of clients that I want. So I don't need y'all watching me. And then at that point, you would have more money. So that's why you would just have a regular website, something like that. But still, me, where I'm at, I still want to be seen and I still want to work with even better and better clients. And I'm not at that place right yet that I feel like I should have a portfolio. I've had a portfolio website though for like 5 years now. Just calculate that. We're not going to just been doing it for free. But nonetheless, you can add your links here on the side to your interviews or what teams that you're on. So if you're on multiple graphic teams or something like that, y'all can all be on here. They got about me's where you can explain what you do, stuff like that. Your services, once again, dang, and you can see people's kind of prices too. Like, this is dope how he kind of put this together. If you want a professional key art and sport entertainment poster design, you can make $1,200. He's charging $1,200 for a poster art. Delivery time is 1 to 2 weeks. You get 1 concept, 2 revisions, and then hit him up one more time just for a different type of Behance portfolio. This is a dope portfolio too. Like I said, freelance graphic designer, open for projects. He keeps it real simple. I don't know why he didn't add his links in here. He just put his Facebook in there. But I like the work on this page more or less than anything. If we clicked on something, he kind of just did one little post and call it a day. You don't always have to explain and do this, that, and the third. I just suggest you do that, especially if you're upcoming, because that's what I know brands and stuff like to see. Now that we talked about having a Squarespace versus having a Behance page, I want to just show you guys my portfolio as well, just so y'all can see how my portfolio is kind of different from my website. It's kind of the same, really. I have my show reel in the back, and I explain here. And then with these, I kind of explain a little bit more. If you click on the Menlo Club, I explain like what I did a little bit, because this is the portfolio I actually send when they like, oh, portfolio link. This is normally what I send. The other one is more or less for client facing. If you want to inquire about getting cover arts or anything like that, I have a full explanation of those type of things. But this is what I'm using when I'm applying to jobs and anything like that. And it's like really broken down. I got a bunch of different stuff where I break, like, look at that, real clean. You know what I'm saying? Zaytoven. I end up went on tour. I explain what's going on. I explain exactly what my part was it in. I made cool headings for it, and I added links, made all the works, all this type of stuff. This is a part of, once again, the Adobe subscription. So this is free, and you can go in here and adjust your, make and connect your domain. That's why I'm just feeling like if this is free, I don't need a Squarespace too. If this looks just as clean as the other thing, it's just I gotta switch it up. It's all good. You could do the plain old Instagram way, but I will suggest you have another site. So I do recommend the Behance, or I recommend my portfolio or the Squarespace, only because when you're on Instagram just now updated. So if you search something in Google, Instagram links will come up. But that is the most important part, the SEO. So when people are searching for artists, when people are searching for somebody with your particular style, or that they can like find you easily, that goes with going and working with the people in a pool of work. You know what I'm saying? If everybody's in one sector, you want to be in that sector too. You want to be a fish on the line as well. But Shane Ramos, he does his really, really well too. He keeps it real simple. You don't want hella copy in here with mad emojis, rest in peace to this guy, rest in peace to... If it's your portfolio site, let it be professional, and let it be professional site. Like me, I have my regular Ali Dope page, which is my personal life and what my experience working as a creative is throughout the system. And I have my Only Dope Media Instagram. That is like where all my actual work goes, really. I usually kind of separate the two, keep photography and stuff on one side, and then design, video, motion graphics on another, because I just don't want everything to be all cluttered with like me at a baseball game and then, you know, post the cover art, because like now you're confused. You know what I'm saying? Shane Ramos does it really, really well. He has his pin clients that he's worked with at the top. He has his highlights set up with each work where it says his info, but he kind of set his up like that. Even if Hot New Hip Hop, he has all his pieces like kind of like locked in right here, all the work that he's done, so that you can show your recognition and things like that. But like his page is curated with just his best works, short, quick explanations, nothing too crazy. Dope. So like I said, you can do it like this, and this is just pretty much just your work. If you get out of here, created by Martise. If you've seen these, I know you probably seen him. He makes hella reels every day, but his same thing pinned up at the top is just his logo. And then I like Created by Martise because he makes his very, very interactive. He'll explain exactly what's going on, and he's trying to sell you on it. If you come across his page, he's selling you on something. And he has time lapses so people can see that he's actually the one making this stuff too. If you don't have any proof of your process, then it's hard to be like, oh, did this person make it? Or did they just take my money, hire somebody else to do it? Or did they creative direct it? They just want to know what part you're playing in whatever that you're creating. So that's why I really like his stuff. He does dope breakdowns, and he explains, like, for instance, why motion graphics are key for your release. He's explaining to you and giving you the pros of why you should even want to get something like that, because maybe somebody doesn't understand why they need this or why they need that specific thing. He does a great way of explaining his stuff. As you can see, Shane doesn't show any of his processes. Creative Martise does, and as you can see, he has a lot more followers than Shane. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that is Shane's second page, though. I think his first page got disabled because I do remember Shane having like 50K as well, though, too. But as you can see here, you can see each thing. It gives you the cover art with the motion graphic. He'll give you a bunch of templates, how that works for 9x16, how this works for a banner for your YouTube or whatever, a SoundCloud banner, the main cover art, any 4x5s that you may need. So it could be like official visualizers and stuff like that. So I like how he breaks down his work. And then for this person, Kenyan Design, I mean, it's nothing real too crazy here. He's just starting out, but you always want to put just your best pieces. If you just put your best pieces, that would be really dope. And I like Kenyan because he shows the process of the cover art. So he'll show you the final product here. He'll show you how it was in a grayscale. He'll show you how it was before he added any colors or effects. And then he'll go in and show you the original image that he even started working with. So how do you go from this to this? Dope. He does minimal talking. He might not be a talkative person or too explanatory, but I think the process pretty much speaks to what you're going to get. If I give you something, I know it's going to give me something similar to this. I think this one has it too. He showed you different versions of what he did. He threw some dolphins in there. He threw a flamingo in there, butterfly in there. Like, he's just showing you dope stuff that he can do in the same environment. And he also shows you a few different works. Just keep that in mind when you're building your portfolio out and what style that you're trying to go with and what your pockets is looking like more or less and stuff like that. But I do recommend having at least two. You want to have an Instagram, obviously, and then you want to have some sort of secondary portfolio. It just depends, once again, what your pockets are looking like, what you're able to afford, and how you want to create. But I do recommend getting on Behance for sure. Now that we had our portfolio together, when you go to art schools, which I went to, you do have these things called like gallery walks and galleries. Even when you have your own exhibition or your own shows and you finally get to that level, you're going to know how to give and receive constructive feedback. And that goes beyond art school or anything. This is even just dealing with clients on a daily basis, the brand with a daily basis. If you got to know how to give feedback. Most importantly, you have to know how to receive feedback. Because when you're working with these brands, I'm telling you, you're going to be on version 10, version 11, version 15, version 20, and it'd be for the smallest and slightest things. You just have to build that up within you and just know that it's going to come. Now, you want to do your best to try to prevent those repetitive revisions and things like that by being clear and concise in your approach. But these are just things sometimes that happen that's like, sometimes it's just above us. It's the big CEO or something like that. So constructive feedback is essential for growth and improvement in any creative field. Let's explore some best practices. Here are a few tips I got for you to give and receive some of this constructive feedback. And we'll practice this too after this class, so then you guys can see how it is in real time as I'm picking apart you guys' work, okay? The first thing is to be specific. Point out specific elements and explain why they work or they don't work. I used to have this teacher when we used to do our gallery walks, and I actually got kicked out of my junior gallery walk because a teacher just was belittling a student, and she wasn't saying anything specific. She was just going on and on and on about how it was lackluster work, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I just was like, well, what is it that's just not good? You're just saying it's not good. You're not giving any constructive feedback. They kicked me out. It's all good. I had to go and have a private session or whatever, but we graduated and we finished. But I like that you have to be specific when you're pointing out why things are working and why things don't work. And don't just let somebody say, it's just, I'm not vibing with it. Well, what are you not vibing with? Are you not vibing with the colors? Are you not vibing with the text? Are you not vibing with the sand on the ground? Are you not vibing with the glows? Are you not vibing with the collage aspect? Or you want to go in a different stylistic direction? Talk to me. Ask them to explain to you. Ask them to explain to you why this isn't working for them or why that's not working for them, as well as you need to do the same when you're reaching out. Next is going to be objective. Focus on the design, not the designer. So use objective language. It could be anybody. It doesn't even matter who it is. Judge the work for the work. I don't care if Virgil Abloh came back from the grave and made something. If it's ass, it's ass. And that's just how it has to be. Just concentrate on the design in general. Don't get in your feelings and don't take anything personal in this creativity. It's just how a person feels about a piece of art and how the art makes them feel. That don't necessarily mean they feel that way towards you. or they think you suck or this, that, and the third. It's just they have a vision in their mind, and you're supposed to be the middle person to help them bring that to life with your creative expertise. So next is be balanced, okay? Highlight both the strengths and the weaknesses and the areas of improvement. Don't just be like, yo, I love this, 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 and this. And then you never have nothing negative to say, because then they think it's the best thing since sliced bread. You have to have something good to say and something bad to say, because no design is perfect. Have something to say. Don't just be in there bigging it up, and don't just be there just berating the piece of work either. Try to have a good balance of it. And then lastly is to be actionable. You want to offer suggestions for improvement that you can specifically act on and do for yourself. If they're saying something like something off about it, the font is just isn't working for me. What about the font isn't working for you? Should I make it smaller? Should I spread it out? Should I try a different font? You want to get actionable steps from your client. You don't want them just saying, oh, the font's not working for me. Because then that's how you end up on version 20, because you didn't went through 20 versions of a font and it wasn't even the font that they were mad about. It was the font size, or they couldn't really see it because it didn't have a drop shadow or something. It'd be the smallest thing. Just make sure you're actionable when you're asking for your feedback and you're giving feedback too. The main thing, like I told you guys before, is being able to receive constructive feedback. This has to do with the revisions and things like that, because like I said, when you're in this field, you're just a middle person to somebody else's vision, unless you're creating all the work for yourself. And most of the time you just aren't. You're collaborating with somebody on some sort of part, whether that's the artist themselves, the label, or the brand, or the company. Receiving feedback can be challenging. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I hate doing 100 revisions about something too, but it is a valuable part of the learning process and the creativity process. Here are some tips for receiving feedback that has helped me, and I feel like they will help you as well. I already mentioned it first. It's just don't take things personal. It's not personal. It's not about you. It's about getting the best piece of art that they see in their eyes. Y'all might actually agree to disagree, and then you might upload a whole different version than the one that actually got approved. Just in general, don't take personal, because then that's how you mess up business relationships. I want you to be open. I want you to listen to all the feedback with an open mind. Like, oh, okay, I can switch the font up. I can change the sky background. I can do those type of things. Let me try a few different ones, because you get a strike on the first home go is very, very rare. Sometimes it takes somebody else just giving you some suggestions to kind of open your mind to be like, oh, okay, that can work this way as well. Sometimes you just need to sleep on things, and then you'll get inspired again to even make it even a better piece of art. The second would be to be curious. So ask questions to get a better understanding and give and receive better feedback. So like I already mentioned, it's just like asking the questions. What don't you like about it? What is wrong with that? Why would I do that? How do you see this going? You want to ask a lot of intuitive questions about the person and what they have in their mind, because sometimes it's just stuck in their mind and they can't draw, they can't do anything creative. So it's hard for them to kind of explain what you're doing. So that comes back to being able to give constructive feedback and explaining why you did certain things. So it's not just an argument or a debate on font color. Like, who wants to sit here and argue about font colors? Come on, man. And also, I want you to be reflective. Reflect on the feedback that you got and how you can apply it. That just goes back to, like I said, just being open. All right, let me sleep on it. Let me think about it. Like, okay, let me do a few different versions and see what version kind of aligns with that person a little bit more. They might literally just pick one out the pot. That's normally what I do when I make any type of logo or something. I just give people a bunch of options, and then we start just narrowing it down. So it's not back and forth about a piece that they're not fully in love with. Lastly, it's going to be grateful. When you're grateful, you're appreciating the efforts that others have to even give you the feedback that you're getting. If they taking the time out to give you this feedback or giving you the time to appreciate your work, then you should always be grateful for that, because they could just not care. They could have you just putting out bullshit, or they just have you putting out some shitty work. Who wants that? Like, that's not no real friend. If you had some food in your teeth, I'd be like, yo, I'm that type of person. Yo, you got food in your teeth. Be grateful that I'm here telling you got food in your teeth, because you could have went and walked up to that person smiling all loud and then figured out, why did they dub me? Oh, I got food in my teeth. Why didn't you tell me? Hey, last time I did it, you barked on me. You yelled and da da da. Just be grateful for any type of feedback that somebody's giving to you. And I don't take anything personal. Like sometimes people be hating, and that's just what it is. If you have a real conviction in your mind of whatever you're creating, cool. But you can't be like that all the time. I know certain designers, they just don't take things seriously or treat it as a business. They just treat this as a hobby or something like that. But I'm like, people are really making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? $1,100 for a poster key art. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that level, you can start doing these type of things. The 200s, the 300s, the 4 and 5s. You feel me? So you have to be grateful through the whole process and know that you're a collaborator and you're working with people on a daily basis. I just want you to remember that feedback is a tool for improvement. And it's not criticizing you as a person or criticizing your art. If your shit is ass though, sometimes it's just ass and it comes with time. But if somebody gives you good feedback, you can know what to work on and how to improve strategically. One of the other things I want you to do is to analyze your design work very critically before you even put it on a portfolio, before you even present it to a client. I want you to look at the various perspectives and understand the strengths and weaknesses of your design. Like, oh, I could have spent more time on this. I could have spent more time on that. But I really, really like how this came out. I really like how the highlights and the shadows came out. I really feel like the logo or the text work is really fire on this. But I need to add a little bit more depth of feel. It's kind of plain. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should add some glows. But just critically look at your work before you let the world see it, before you're able to receive feedback. Because nothing's worse than giving feedback on something that was already halfway finished. Now you feeling no way because it's like, oh, I wasn't even done. And you killing it before it's even done. Just to get to a strong place that you're really, really comfortable with it before you even give it or show it to anybody. Here are some key elements to consider when you're analyzing your design work. The first thing is always going to be the composition. We done talked about this a few times. The composition, how well are the elements arranged? Is it balanced? Is it harmonious? Does it work? Second is going to be typography. If it even has type, are the types appropriate for the genre or the theme? Can you see the text? Is the text centered or is it aligned to the overall composition of the work? Think about that when you're looking at your own work before you send it off. Third is going to be the colors. Once again, do the colors convey the mood and the right emotion that you want to give off? Are they cohesive? Are they well chosen? These are things you need to be asking yourself when you're looking at your piece. Don't just be looking at it like, yeah, I made some fire. You got to go back on these things and make sure it works for the original brief that you were even sent. Imagery. Are the images high quality? Or are they relevant to what you're even creating for? And do they integrate well with the other elements? You don't want nothing just standing out like a sore thumb unless that's the type of style that you're going for in your work. Lastly, it's going to be the overall impact and how you see your work in its totality. Does the design effectively convey the intended message or theme that we were going for when we were designing? Just look at that when you're looking at it. Like, all right, you can't be having something about a boxing fight or something and you got rabbits and rainbows on your work. Like, is that cohesive? Is that part of the theme? What was that? Because you're gonna have to explain that when they ask you about it. Now, as we all talked about making changes, taking and giving feedback, sometimes, like I said already, guys, I just want to double down on this, is you will be making repetitive improvements based on the feedback in general. So just get that through your head before you start on your whole creative career journey. I just want you to know you will be making hella changes throughout the prime. Like, you literally might spend an hour shadow and contouring and giving it dodge and burn and giving it depth. And then somebody might give you another picture. Be like, oh yeah, I seen what you did. And I went and took a whole nother photo shoot to kind of fit the theme better. And they go take a whole nother photo shoot. Now you got to swap the image and spend another hour creating those same adjustments on the image, because you can't just copy and paste because every image is, unique. But that happens sometimes. That's happened to me. You feel me? Sometimes they sent the wrong logo. They got to resend the logo and redo it. But it's just the little things. Once you received your feedback, the next step is to make these repetitive improvements to your design. Here's a process for making these revived improvements and or revisions and or changes, whatever you would like to call them, in your verbiage, okay? So 1 is gonna be review the feedback, go through all the feedback you receive and identify a common theme. If it's about the color, that's gonna keep coming up. If it's gonna be about the object or the person in general, that's gonna keep coming up. Just make sure you go through all the feedback thoroughly and identify what is the common thread here that they're having an issue with. 2 is to prioritize these changes. Decide which changes are most important and which changes are gonna have the biggest impact. Sometimes, for instance, if you've been on my YouTube, I did the Boss Man D-Lo Too Slippery poster design. I looked at that thing a few times. I did waves a few different times. I did a background a few different times before I landed on what I actually wanted to do. Sometimes it's like I mentioned, swapping out an image. It might be just swapping out some text, the quickest, easiest things, but try to make the things that's going to take the longest time, try to get those done first so they can see before you start making adjustments to everything else. If they're like, oh, change the image, change the color, change the font, switch out, I don't know, a shoe or something like that, I would send them piece by piece. Like, okay, how do you like this? Yeah, cool. Because there's no point in making the other changes if the main change might affect how the other changes work. It might change the color of the image. It might change the color of the text, what have you. It depends on how it works together. But I hope I'm making sense with that. 3rd is to obviously implement and make these necessary adjustments to your design in a timely manner, because you don't want them waiting 2-3 weeks like for a change, where it's like a change could have happened in like 8 hours. You want to be effective and you want to be quick. 4th is going to be to review and refine these things. Step back, review the changes, make any additional changes or refinements as needed. Lastly is going to be seek further feedback. If possible, get additional feedback to ensure that the changes are effective. You don't want to, like I just mentioned, you don't want to continue making stuff and it's like, they didn't even like this part, they're not going to like this other part. Just keep that in mind when you're working and you're presenting your work to your peoples and when you're presenting your work online. Great work today. I appreciate you finishing up this course. I appreciate you tuning in with me and rocking with me through these few weeks. And I hope you guys has learned a lot each week. That's my goal here for you guys, to be able to take these skills and be able to get and hit the ground running in a year. A year from now, you might be, making a living off of this. If you work your move, the right move, if you talk to the right people, connect with the right people, collaborate with the right people. You know what I'm saying? Work, don't always just create work for people that's so high up and so hard to touch. Sometimes you just need to collaborate with your local heroes, people that's already popping online, people that are on the come up, 10K, the 50K people, them 100K people. Reach out, make some work for them, send them work. Sometimes they might not have money for you, but sometimes the exposure is worth more than the money because they might expose you to people that can get you paid and stuff like that, of who they know. So when you're working with somebody, don't just work with somebody just because you love what they do or love this or love that. That's a major key in this. But try to work with people that can get you to the place that you want to be. If you want to be doing fashion, cover arts, or fashion design, work with your local fashion influencers. Just going out there, if they making photos online or they taking the time out to get a photo shoot together, take them photos, make something with it, send it back. They might post you. They might, bang with you. That might lead you to working with Nike or Adidas or something like that based on the spec work that you made with that influencer. And that same thing works with any type of musician as well. Don't always go for the ASAPs and the Kanye and the Kendricks. Like, work with your local bah humbug. Like, he might just be on the way. You know what I'm saying? He might get signed in a year. You know what I'm saying? You never know. He might get a viral video in a year. You never know. And those are the same people that if you give them good work, if you see them with shitty work and you give them even better work, then they'll start reaching out to you and trying to give you a little couple of coins because now you've gotten the results that they really, really, really want. So I have one last assignment for you guys. I wasn't going to let you break out with an assignment. I want you guys to present your album covers to the class for a peer review and submit the revised version on the feedback you receive. So we're going to be presenting for our final project so you can give and receive great feedback on your work and you can be able to implement everything that I just talked about. It'd be even dope if you guys go ahead and create your portfolio and start adding in some of your pieces now, and you don't always have to keep all the pieces in their portfolio. You can delete and you can add as you go. But I would love to see some portfolios too, so I can be able to help you curate the best portfolio. Once again, you guys, it's Ali Dope. This is the last of the the classes. I appreciate you guys once again. Locked in. We locked in, twin. Happy creating, happy hustling, and happy to continue learning, bruh. Y'all already know how I go, man. Keep creating, keep learning, and most importantly, keep hustling, keep grinding. I'm Ali Dope, and until next time, I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.